Hey yo, welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Curry III, and today I have a really special guest today, ladies and gentlemen. I found her on TikTok. Her TikTok popped up. She was singing, super talented, super duper talented. Let me just get the get give. Let me just tell y'all who it is. It's Miss Logan Woods, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up for Miss
Hi.
Logan Woods.
Hey y'all, what's up?
So the first thing we do here when we have a guest is we ask them how are they doing today. So just a quick little check in, just to see, how they're feeling.
hmm I'm doing good. I mean, today's been like really busy. It's been busy season, it's quarter one. So
Yeah,
it's like for the music industry is a busy, but other than that, like I'm blessed, man. That's all
that,
I can that's all I can like really say. Like I'm blessed.
that's real. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even
Yeah.
mad at that. So doing research, right?
hmm
I saw that you grew up in Baltimore.
hmm
I'm from DC. So
Ah,
yeah, Mo. Yeah. So I was really excited when I seen that because I saw that you lived in Atlanta, but I didn't know if you was from Atlanta. Then I did a little more research. I was like, oh, Baltimore, damn, that's what's up. So how was that growing up in Baltimore, growing up, in that environment?
hmm Man, it's bittersweet. I mean, I do miss home sometimes, but back home, I mean, the culture there, Baltimore culture is just like, it's just different. Like, I feel like you got to be from there to like really like know, or like the outskirts, like DC or something. Like, y'all know how we are, but
Yeah,
we one of a kind for sure. Yeah, I mean, I mean, being from there just kind of made me who I am and just showed me how to like move and operate and stuff like that. So I love my hometown. And yeah, but now I am in Atlanta, but being from back home, like I'm gonna always miss back home because it's home.
yeah. Do you feel like being from home prepared you in any way to like be able to move throughout the world
hmm
or like move through the industry?
Yeah, for sure. Because being back home, like I feel like a lot of us are taught to be like, oh, like you got to keep your guard up a little bit. You got to keep
Yeah,
it, and you got to just watch and be observant for stuff like that. And I think in the music industry, it's the same. It's the same type of thing because you never know, like. And this sounds so bad, but really it is like that. Like you never know who's gonna snake you or who's gonna like you just never know. So being from back home is like I already just be like I be peeping like everything.
yeah. Listen, don't do disclaimers. Like it's okay if it's on your heart, say it. It's okay. No need for disclaimers. So, as I was doing more research, right? You said the funny thing is I never wanted to be a musician, but when the phone kept ringing, I had to answer. What did you mean by that? Like, what? Well, first off, what did you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of led you? Well, I know what kind of led you. You said a music teacher led you, or a teacher of yours, correct? Led you into being a musician. But how was that conversation, between the you and that teacher?
Yeah, I mean, so when I was in high school, I was like 14. I was in this club called Floetic Lyricists, and it was basically like singers, rappers, and poets. So that was the thing. And then when I joined in there, that's when I met that teacher. His name is Mr. Safachi. I'll never forget him. And music was always like just something I did. Like it was something that, I wasn't like taking it like serious. Cause I honestly like I didn't think you could really make a career out of it, like paying bills and like I never really thought that that was like a thing. So when I got into that club, I remember it was like one of the last days I saw him. And he was like, yo, like I don't be telling people this, but you got something and like you need to like really look into like either going to performing arts school after this or like doing it big or whatever it is, like you need to like pursue this for real. That was the first person that ever really like told me that. But yeah, I mean, thank God that he encouraged me to do it because honestly, if it hadn't been for him saying that, like I don't know if I would have took it it wouldn't be like where I am today. So
Got
yeah,
you.
that he encouraged me to do that.
So, when it comes to like getting over a hump as an artist, right? Because I know like we can be our own like thing that's holding us back a lot of times. So
Mhm.
what kind of got you I know he might have said, yeah, you should do this, but in your mind you might have been like, ah. all right, like
Mhm.
I'll think about it.
I got it.
So what kind of got you over that I'll think about it like stage?
Man, I mean, I think really it was during, and it's crazy because that conversation happened in like 2014,
Mhm.
15, something there, but 2020, the pandemic was when I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna start doing this for real because when the pandemic started, everything was shut down. So we was in the house. And I was like, well, what if I just post videos on YouTube of me singing? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, see, let's just try that. And then when I started doing that, that's when like everything started to kind of move along. And then that's when I was like, all right, like, like this might be a difficult journey, but it's like between that and like working a 9 to 5, like I picked that because I did the 9 to 5 like for like a year, and it was like the worst year of my life.
It's not for you.
I'm back. So yeah, music is it's just one of the things that just music just never leaves me alone. So I'm like,
I
I
feel
might as
you.
well.
Why did
Yeah.
you think? Why did you think going back? Why did you think that music couldn't pay the bills? Like, was it like something like people was telling you, or like your own like
I
notion?
mean, I feel like growing up where I'm from, it's just like we don't get to see that a lot, right? So
Yeah,
like
that's
if you
true.
grow up like LA or Atlanta, somewhere like that, like you're gonna be more exposed to that. But like being back home in Baltimore is like, nah, like the norm is like you go to college, you get a degree, you get your job, you work that, like So
Yeah,
I mean, it was never something that was kind of like put in front of me for the most part.
got you. So it's reference point, like where like your point of reference, like how you grew up, like
Mm,
what you've seen, what you grew up seeing, right?
yeah.
So the crazy thing is that after all of that, you kind of overcame. You're in a spot where you released your first EP. You're doing big things. You was number 9 on independent radio. You
Yeah.
come on now, come on now, come on now.
Keep talking. Let
So,
me hear more.
so looking back to from where you are now and looking back then, right, and the growth that has happened, how grateful are you for the journey of where you were to where you are now?
Man, I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful for the nose. I'm grateful, like especially for the nose, but man, I'm grateful every day. Like I get to wake up and just like do what I love to do and inspire other people to do the same. And it's like I don't know, it's like weird. Like it's like now that I'm in a good position, I still like my mentality is still like, all right, I gotta get to it. Like tomorrow we got it's like I'm still trying
Right.
to like content and just like in the moment, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a lot. I think that's a real difficult thing, right? When you're doing so good at something and people are telling you, "Oh my God, you're doing so good, so good, so good." And I think a lot of times, especially in the music industry, they're so focused on next. When you're so successful at one, you're so look, listen,
You know.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. So how do you what have you been doing as of recent, right? To kind of like not be so focused on what's next and kind of just focused on now.
Man, I've been just like, and I go to church a lot.
Ooh,
So
you
what
better praise them.
look,
You better go
Jesus,
ahead.
but anyway, yeah, so I've been going to church a lot and like they talk about being present a lot. So I've been just trying to practice like being present, and I'm trying to get in a mind space of like before I ask for more, ask God to do more in my life, before I'm like, I need to do this, I'm just like, what do you already have? Like let's look back at the past and just like I do this thing where like every month at the end of the month, I jot down everything I accomplished in that month. So I have a backlog in my notes from like when I first started doing music till now. And I get to see like on paper, like everything that I've done. And I think that is really like, because when you see, it's different when you see it on paper. It's
Yeah,
like I'm doing some things. So it helps me be more like grateful in the moment.
yeah. I feel that. I need to start doing that. That's actually good advice.
Mhm.
Like going back and looking at all the things I accomplished without the month, because you can forget so easily.
so quick.
Like, dang, I did this, I did that. And sometimes it can look like a worse time than what it really
Mm-hmm.
was. So
Mm-hmm.
nah, that's actually, man, look at you. Look
You
at
got
you.
it. Sorry, I'm like really goofy. I'm gonna try to control it.
No, no. We love that here. We love
Okay.
that here. It's okay. It's fine. Um,
Okay. Good.
so right when it comes to making music and releasing music, that can be a scary process. That
Mhm.
process of because it's like you're releasing a part of yourself to the world. And
Yeah.
especially as a new artist, when like nobody kind of like when you're trying to figure yourself out as an artist and other people are trying to figure you out as an artist, that can be a scary point of time. So
Mhm.
how was that time when you first started releasing music? Were you like, I don't know how to like really describe it. Were you like timid? Were you kind of afraid? I won't use afraid because afraid is kind of like a negative word. But like, how was that
Mhm.
time for you?
I mean, I'm still going through that. Like, I be telling my fans all the time, like, I just like dropping music is just like I don't drop often because like I be so in my head about whether I feel like I'm talented enough or this is good enough or this is good enough. So
What?
I know, and people be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and it's so real. It's so real. Like I'm my worst. I'm like my biggest critic. Like nothing is ever good enough for
Yeah.
me. Trying to work on that and just like in the beginning, it's getting better though. Because in the beginning, when I first started dropping, I did like little singles here and there, and just to test things out. But then when I put the EP out, I was like, oh, like I
Mm-hmm.
was scared. But then like when the day it came out, I got so much like love and the reception of it was like crazy. So I was like, oh, maybe it really was all in my head.
Let's actually get into the EP because I love it. I love decisions out now for those tuning in. Decisions
Yeah.
out now. Uh, I absolutely loved it, and I was so glad that I found you on TikTok because I feel like that was kind of like the R&B that I was kind of missing in my life. Like, like the real like.
All right.
Listen, so let's just talk about the process, why you chose the song that you chose, and then later we can get into my and your favorite song on the project.
Okay. So man, the project is interesting how it came about because like a lot of people know me on TikTok for like making songs on live. So
Mhm.
I'll build a song from I'll pick a beat out and then I'll do like the song from like front to back on like all on live. So everyone's watching this in real time. So all those songs that were on the EP, like we did those songs on live. Just me and my fans, like just doing them on live. And there was this one song in particular called Decisions that I did on live. And it was like one of my biggest lives I've had. It was like 2,000 people in there. It got like a million likes. Like it went crazy. And so for months, like since like I probably did that song in like July. So for like 2 straight months, like it was just DMs. Like they were harassing me, like, when are you putting this out? Put this out, put this out, put this out. So I was like, you know what? Like I might as well just go ahead and give them a couple songs and
Mhm.
give them a little EP so they can, get a little taste of like who Logan is like sonically and everything. So we went ahead and did it. I want to give a shout out to the 10. They were the producers on the project, the 10 and Zay Blaze. That's my homie, my best friend. They helped put the whole thing together for me. So yeah, that's pretty much how it came about. Like it was just songs from the live stream.
So what made you do that? What made you like go on live and be like, all right, let's build a song from scratch? Because that's a creative ass way to like one engage with fans, but two let people know like what your process is.
Yeah. So like when I started doing lives like last year, like I was just doing cover songs. I was just singing like other people's songs, but I don't know. I think I got tired of that and I wanted to just show more so like who I am. So I did like one song on live for the first time and that live went crazy. So I was like it went crazier than when I was doing cover songs. I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, this is what they want." So then I just kept doing them and it just kept getting bigger. And then like celebrities and stuff would pop in the live and stuff and
Oh,
start seeing me like make the songs and everything. Like I've made so many like connections in the industry just from them seeing me on live make songs. So
Got you. So I want to talk about Leave Me the Hell Alone.
okay.
It's like my favorite song right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I might tell you a joke, but I never tell you a lie.
Tell you a
I
lie.
never tell you a lie. Where were we? Because I feel like I was with you when you made that. I feel like I feel like I was with. So where were we when we made that song?
You stupid. Where were we? It was summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made that song in the summertime on live. A couple months ago. I think that one was probably like June, May, June. We did that song. And I remember, shout out to Jay Bristol, by the way. She produced that record. First of all, female producers, let's go.
For sure. For
But
sure.
that record, and she sent me the beat in the pack. And when I heard that beat, I was like, yeah. So then I got on live, did the melodies and everything, and then it just came about like so organic too. Like I didn't think about it or nothing. Like it was just and that's still like my vibe. Is just like I want to tell women like we love the men, but it's like you can also be like an individual and whole on your own. So that song is pretty much like, boy, I'm outside. I see you when I see you, baby.
I know.
Okay.
I know that's right. Hey, we out. Hit me. I know that's right. So, what song of the project would you say that you are most proud of making, proud of creating?
Ooh, that's a hard question. Huh. So I really like Be Alone. I really like Be Alone. I like the message in Be Alone. That's probably my favorite one. Shout out to Ramal. Sir Ramal, he produced that one for me. Who else is on there? Sir Ramal, Pel Hammond Jr. Yeah. I like to give credit. So you're gonna hear me saying shout out to this person, this person. I'm like, look.
Listen, I love it. I love it. It's not too many. Listen, it's not too many people that come on and like shout out the people who like did stuff that produced that like help write whatever the case may be, right? So I love it. Hey, give them your credit. Listen,
Yeah.
and like I agree with you. I feel like Be Alone was like one of the a great way to end off that piece of work, piece of art. So no, like it's great. It's amazing. I sent it to my mom. My mom loves it. Like when I send my mom music, like I always send my mom stuff that I think she'll like, and my mom like loves it. So like, yeah.
Yes,
You're great. You're great. You're one of the ones for sure.
thank you.
So now we're on the back end of the EP release. And you say that you don't release music that much. I think the EP was the last thing you released. So one, why are you you spoke on it a little bit in the beginning of the pod, but I want you to dive a little deeper on why you like so timid on releasing music, and is there new music coming anytime soon? Not to put that pressure on you, but
That's funny. Yeah, so I think really it's just, and this year that's gonna change actually. Like I'm gonna be releasing more frequent because it's like it's just time to get out my little shell. But
yeah.
I've always been just a timid person, like in general.
Mhm.
Like just I've always been like the one that can sing but just won't like raise their hand like to sing or whatever. Like I don't know. Like I'm just like shy and like what Beyonce say, like I'm an artist and I'm sensitive
Sensitive
about my
about my shit.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm trying to get out my I'm working on getting out of my head now, but this year is gonna be different. Like there is new music coming. April will be the start
Let's go.
putting out stuff. So I do have my next single coming out very soon. I haven't told my fans yet which song it is, but I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
they
Listen, take us to the summer, man. I listen. Summer anthems need to take us into the summer. Let's
mm-hmm.
go. Give me some. Uh oh, question just popped up in my head. Did you go to BSA? Almost
Be
good.
No, I freaking tried
Oh,
out. I tried out like I think I was in like the eighth grade. I tried out and they was like, nah. It was like, no, we're good. Yep.
that's not funny. I'm sorry. That's not funny. But
That's
hey, it all works out though.
it all works
Yeah, it
out.
all worked out. I asked because I went to Duke Ellington. So that's why, yeah, that's
Oh,
why I asked. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It was
That's sweet.
cool.
Okay, you
Nah,
were in
not really.
what school?
DC, Georgetown, like
Georgetown.
yeah, like right next to Georgetown University, like right down the street from Georgetown University.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay. Nice.
yeah, it was cool.
Mhm.
That's how I started this. That's how I got this started. Shout out.
Really? I'm gonna ask you like what made you start podcasting and stuff.
So COVID, it was COVID.
Mhm.
I was bored, and our school does like I was in the theater department, so our school gave us like a lot of different incentives, free incentives of being part of the theater department. One of them was a Taraji P Henson masterclass, and yeah. But before the masterclass, I was seeing like people starting podcasts on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, I could do this." Sitting in a mic, talking with people for however long. I do this all the time, just unrecorded. So
Right.
why not? But
Yeah.
I guess it was just those thoughts in the back of my head, like, nah, like you so busy with school, this and the third, like you about to start performing in the next couple of years. So I was like, you know what, let me not. But then I went to the master class, and basically Taraji was like, listen, Hollywood needs art right now. Like we're in the middle of a pandemic. We don't have nothing. They need writers, they need content creators, they need podcasters. And as soon as she said that, I left the masterclass and I started the plan for the Arts Block podcast. And I told my dad, and the very next day, I told my dad what I wanted to do because that was in August. In September for my birthday, he got me the mic,
Oh,
and ever since then, we've been rolling.
I know that's
So
right.
yeah,
Follow names. Yes.
yeah, had
Yes.
to,
I'm so
yeah.
happy for you. This is like such a cool like platform that you like
Oh,
created.
I
Yeah.
try,
And you're in school. Like
yeah,
what? Like it's people that's like twice your age that's just now getting started and like you're like doing it.
yeah. I give. Let me give credit now. I give credit to my parents. My parents laid an amazing foundation
Mm-hmm.
for me just being like around the arts. Both of my parents are musicians. Like so both of my parents are drummers. Yeah. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Nice.
So shout out to them for laying an amazing foundation for me
Mm-hmm.
to just be able to like express myself and like know what art is and be around artistic spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for just then shout out to God for blessing me with my
Mm-hmm.
creativity and my ability to make art. Then shout out to me for doing it because somebody
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Yes. I know that's right.
uh, so a couple more questions before I let you go.
Take your time.
So your fan base is called the Lowriders. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a dope ass name. It's like one
Thank
of the that's like
you.
one of the dopest fan base. And I'm not even trying to gas you up right now. That's like one of the dopest fan base names like ever.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What do they mean to you?
Man, so it's funny because I mean, I'm like I try to let my fans be very involved with what I'm doing. So I put up a video on TikTok and I was like, hey, yo, I'm looking for trying to figure out like what's gonna be our name, what's our name, and somebody put in the comments lowriders. So the lowriders named themselves the lowriders. So once I don't even know if it was a man or I don't even remember, but once they put that comment in there, I was like, yeah, that's the name. Because they were saying like Loganites, Logan Land. I was like, I love y'all, but no. So, and I saw lowriders, I was like, yeah, we gonna yeah. I feel like that one's just like it just hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah, it was super dope. And when I saw it, like I think it was like on your website and I saw it, I was like, who are the lowriders? Then like you can go and look. I was like, oh no, that's what she like calls her people. Like, nah, that's fire. Like,
Thank you.
nah, that's super fire. I'm mad. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hater just a little bit. Like I'm 10% hater. So
Okay.
I was thinking, I was like, damn, like I need to find a name for my people. But don't worry though, we're gonna get there though. We're gonna get there. We still thinking
We,
about it. We're
we
gonna
gonna
get there.
think about it.
We're
We
gonna
gonna
think
yeah.
we're gonna think
Yeah.
about it. So I'm in your business a little bit,
Go
but
ahead.
I did see that you had a meeting with QC. You
I did.
posted that on your Instagram.
Yes.
What did that lead to anything? Did that conversation lead to anything happening? Any future things that you can speak about?
So that meeting was more so about songwriting. I used to songwrite for other people. So that was more so about songwriting, but going there was really amazing because that was my first label meeting I've ever been in. That was my first time like meeting A&Rs and stuff like that. So it was fun, and I made a lot of connections while I was there as well. So that carried on like past that meeting. So yeah, that's pretty much what that was. It was more so like songwriting because I know I think they're trying to work on their publishing side or something like that. So yeah, they was asking me more so about that, but
So before we get out of here, on the Art Spot podcast, we do this thing where it's called Dead or Alive. Now, this is your first time watching the Art Spot podcast. Hello. This is your last time. Well, goodbye. But Dead or Alive is a segment on the podcast where the artist on the podcast gets to choose other artists that they would like to work with that is dead or alive. Now, you can choose one artist, you can choose 100 artists. Please take your time with this because a lot of people will be like, oh snap, after the podcast they hit me up and be like, oh snap, I forgot such and such and such, and it'd be too late. It'd be too late. So yeah, dead or alive, it's on you. Let me know.
oh man, okay. So I guess I'll do that first. I mean, if Whitney was alive, it's like, yeah, like I would want to work. That's like my favorite singer, hands down. Who else? I mean, Michael, to work with Michael would have been really dope. Who else is? I don't want to think like who else is dead, but like I'm trying to think. Who else? I love Luther Vandross. Yeah, I love Luther Vandross. I would have worked with him. But alive, oh, so many. So I love Kehlani. Kehlani, favorite artist. So Kehlani. I love Music Soul Child. I love Anita Baker, Tony Braxton.
Ooh.
Who else? Lucky Day. Oh my gosh, Kenyon Dixon, Tonestead.
These are
Freaking
some good names.
followed me like not that long ago.
When?
Oh, we about to do a record. But yeah. Oh my goodness, who else? So many. Coco Jones, SZA, Summer, all the R&B girlies for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave nobody out. It's so many though. It's so many. Oh, Jasmine Sullivan. Duh. Right. Like that's not even a question. Yeah. I think that's it. That I can think of. Oh, LMA. It's so many. I could go on. Chris Brown. I could go on.
Listen, that's probably like the hardest part of the podcast right there.
Yeah.
I tried doing it myself and I can never do it. I'm just like, we're gonna skip that part of the podcast every time. But Logan, thank you so much for coming on to the Art Spot podcast. We loved you. This was great. This was so much fun. Before we go on out of here, is there anything that any last words that you would like to say to the lowriders or just to anybody watching this right now?
Lowriders, I love y'all down. You already know the vibes. What else I want to say? I mean, I just really want to say thank you to everyone that's really helped me with that project decision. So the 10, Lo-Fi, Ramal, Golden Boy, who else? Teddy Vision, Zay, Blaze, Nito for helping me vocal produce. There's so many. Pel Hammond Jr., Jay Bristol. I just want to thank them. Dylan Graham. I just want to thank all of them for Q, Vo. I want to thank all of them for helping it really like bring the project together. I couldn't have done it without them. And yeah, that's what I got to say. And thank you, God.
Yeah, thank you, God. Got to. And I want to thank everybody watching the Art Spot podcast and listening to the Art Spot podcast right now. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. If you listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post podcasts. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform. Make sure you give us a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast you've ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. It'll be placed somewhere down here. You can also follow the podcast at Arts Block Podcast. That'll be somewhere down here as well. All of Logan's information will be down here as well, and it will be linked in all descriptions and bios. So if you want to find her, want to check her out, which I think you should, you can do that easily. Yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Remember that artists never die, and I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Peace and love. 666.